Good afternoon, everybody. As Nick's mentioned, my name's Tim Foster and I'm from Firmstep. Firmstep are a speedboat by Roy's admission earlier today, in the fact that we're a small business, we're actually a medium-sized business, but we're built entirely around local authorities. For the past 15 years, we've been helping local authorities to transform their services, getting services online, but digitising that whole process. So not just putting services online so that people fill it out, then someone in the back office puts it into a CRM or another system. The whole piece-to-piece thing, end-to-end. So briefly, I'm not going to talk about technology because I think it will bore you all to tears. What I am going to talk about is a little bit about our journey to how we got here, but then give you some examples of a couple of local authorities that we're working with and how they've used our tools to transform their entire organisations. Briefly, we started out by providing councils with an e-form technology. So this enabled them to put stuff online. But what we did right from the very beginning is we said, right, we've got to provide councils with a tool that's not really technical, which doesn't stop them from being able to use it, i.e. you don't need any IT skills to be able to create these forms with full workflow and integration. 150 councils are using that technology. We've got a couple of our customers in the room today, so Western Bartonshire here and Kirklees. And it really took off in local government. In terms of what we do and how we do this, we're entirely cloud-based. What does that mean for a council? Well, it means that we're not having to come into your organisation, install something on a piece of kit, but the other really key bit about that is the fact that we update our platform once a week. So that means that you're on the latest version of the software. You're also on the same version of software that 150 other councils are using. That provides many benefits. You don't have to wait for new things to come along. You can be involved in that journey. But the other key bit about that is that you just need something that has a web browser to be able to access our software. So that could be a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop, or any of those devices. Briefly, we provide a single platform to our local government customers. It is a customer experience platform. What does that really mean? We're not an organisation that have grown by buying different businesses. We're entirely owned by ourselves. It all sits on the same piece of technology, so it means that the council can just implement the bits that it needs to take advantage of those services, which includes an offline mobile working piece. It's entirely built around local government. So this is going back to what Roy was saying about the smaller startup companies. Well, he was talking about people like Facebook and Twitter and things like that. We're not quite on that scale, but we've grown by working with local authorities, talking to them about what do you guys need to make things easier for you guys to work and make things easier for your citizens to access services. So we've got a fantastic, vibrant user community. They meet all the time. We invite them down to London. They get involved in things like hackathons. And they tell us what our software needs to do to make it easier for them to work with it and for your customers to work with it. So, we don't build sales CRMs and try and fit them into local government. We just listen to what you guys need. And one of the key things that our customers have said to us all the time is it needs to be simple. These people are all working with CRMs like Lagin and Microsoft Dynamics and Oracle. And they said that it's like a juggernaut that they were trying to work with, but what they actually needed was something that was really easy, so that when someone phones up, they answer the telephone, they can find that customer really quickly, not having to enter loads of different pieces of information, and then they've got that single view of the customer right there in front of them. So we're constantly refining what we do to make it really easy. You all recognise the space opera there? It's about the same type of age as the Pong thing. Anyway, what about the space opera? You don't need to read a big manual, or you don't need to go on a training course, or you don't need to watch a YouTube video to be able to use a space opera. And we're constantly reviewing what we do with our customers to make it that simple. A good example would be Scarborough Council. They used to spend 3 weeks training customer service agents to use their CRM system. They've got that down to 3 days. And it's that easy and intuitive to use. It's fully optimized to work on mobiles and tablet devices out of the box. What does that actually mean? I think Roy again was mentioning earlier today, there is a thought at the moment that you don't need to have an app for things. People can just use a responsive website and access the services they need. So it just does that out of the box, which includes the offline mobile working part. I'm going to skip over this. The key bit that makes all of the technology work is the fact that we've got a single customer record that sits in the middle of it. That means that Someone can go online and register for an account, or they can phone up your contact centre, and you're dealing with the same exact piece of technology. I'm just going to push through a few of these bits because I think the important thing to do is to talk to you about how customers are using this technology. So Scarborough Borough Council are a very small council, very rural location. They've got beautiful beaches and lots of donkeys. They'd spent a bit of money with some consultants a few years back saying, oh, how are we going to save money? And the consultant said, oh, lose some staff. So they did that, and they had less staff, and they saved a bit of money, but they hadn't changed anything about the way that they worked. They still had the same systems and the same processes. So what they did was they looked at the marketplace at some technology providers, and we had a chat with them, and we said, well, you know, we could take your CRM out, and we could give you a new website, and we can work with you to transform services. So they invested in a switch transformation program. So top down, their Deputy Chief Executive, Hilary Jones, implemented this whole transformation thing. And they've got a team of, well, it began at a team of 4 people, one of them was part-time, it's now down to 1 person that works across the council to transform services, engaging with every single service area to say, look, how do you do your processes at the moment? What are the steps that you take? And then, asking questions like, really? Or, why did you do it that way? And through that process, they've completely transformed everything they do. So they implemented our entire platform. I'm just going to give you some statistics from what they did in the early implementation. Within the first week of going live, they had 151 things that automatically went straight to the environmental services team from online, including payments. Previously, someone would have had to key it into CRM, then they'd have had to key it into the back office. So they got rid of all that. In fact, they were shut for 3 weeks over Christmas 2014. The environmental services team was so confused at why things had appeared in uniform that previously customer services would have keyed in, because obviously they weren't there over Christmas. Something's gone missing there. Yeah. They got rid of email as soon as they went live with the Firmstep platform. So it's a bit of a radical thing for them to even get through committee to begin with, but they just totally got rid of it. We've sort of talked about those types of channels today, but email is one of these sort of, it's almost like fax in a way. It's a really old school way of working. Someone emails you in. They used to spend half a day on a Monday morning going through the weekend's emails. So just 2 days worth of emails, trying to translate what does the customer actually want. Most of the time that involved a phone call back to the customer and say, oh, thanks a lot for contacting us, what do you actually need? And lots of rekeying and stuff. I've already mentioned 3 weeks to 1 day. The other really key thing that Scarborough did, which I think is fantastic to this day, is they used our technology to do multi-agency working. They created a process within 2 weeks with our tools that allows housing associations, the NHS, the county council and the borough council to all share the Firmstep platform, allow referrals for customers who need home adaptions. So it goes directly from maybe a social housing provider, the county council then approve it, it goes directly out to an iPad. I think what's most important about that to emphasise is that they did that themselves without our involvement. We gave them the tools to do that, and they've cracked multi-agency working, and so they did it in about 2 weeks. What they've now done is they've revisited that process and they've put things in there like wellbeing assessments, and they've also got they're getting additional revenue by enabling the handy people that go out and do those services to do small repairs. So they're actually getting additional revenue. There wasn't a system in place before that, and they did it all in-house. If you want to speak to a council about how to transform how you work, I couldn't recommend speaking to Scarborough highly enough, and also East Ayrshire. That sounds like a fairly good way of doing things. There was a few things that were picked up today, and hopefully we'll get to talk about that in the unconference, but I think the key things here for East Ayrshire is, whilst you've got this motivation to do something, capitalise on that, start with some small things, make some changes, and really build on that going forwards. Thank you very much.